Hey, what's up everyone? Back here with another comic book review. I've got ENIAC issue 3 right now, comic published by Bad Idea. I really love this. This is a great issue, great comic. There's only one issue left. So this is going to be a spoiler review. It is a recommend. It's a really great spy espionage thriller, a lot of mystery, no shortage of action. So I do recommend this if you haven't already to jump on. If you can. You know, I know that with Bad Idea, they release these comics and you only get it if you bought the whole thing already. You kind of had to pre-order it. So you would have had to pay for issues 1 through 3 before it all even came out. But I don't know what your comic book store is like. I don't know if they got extras or if they're doing anything like that. And they're giving the option to jump on while it's here. And it's only 4 issues, so it's not a big commitment. First off, awesome cover, awesome Louis LaRosa cover. If you can tell in this video, the characters and these bulbous things on the side, and the font is glossy. The background is this matte finish. It's the orange blends into this pinkish violet at the top really well. I love this cover. I love the colors. Here's the back cover. It's always got some weird image. So the last random indie book I read was so cheap, the cover was so cheap, the ink was rubbing off, the paper was really cheap, and just from the oils in my fingers it was warping the comic and making creases in it just by me holding it for a second. So I never have to worry about something like that when I read a comic with this expensive, good, stock paper. So thank you, Bad Idea, for giving us good paper. It's very pleasing to hold and to go through, and I never have to worry about ruining the comic just by holding it. And so getting right into the story, so the last issue's cliffhanger ending was that one of the agents, the blonde one, Olivia Fletcher, she found out that her mother has something to do with ENIAC. She has a device that will help them feed in the poncho thing with that special core kind of thread. It's a weapon that'll help kill ENIAC. So it goes into her backstory for a page or two, going back into Reagan's Star Wars program. That was just hiding the fact that it was actually a program to go up into space and have like a safe room to develop a weapon to kill ENIAC. If you don't know what Reagan's Star Wars program was, it was basically a satellite defense program to protect us from, I think, a nuclear attack. So I believe Olivia's mother worked at NASA, and she helped build the rocket, sending it into space. But ENIAC, it was super top secret, but ENIAC still knew and found out and blew it up, and really makes them feel hopeless. She finds out that it was through her blueprints that he snuck in a little extra something to blow up the rocket. Ruined her career, sent her packing, and it kind of drove her crazy. It drove her mad. She's saying how she still feels like she can hear ENIAC talking to her, and that she had to tell the world. It's showing her kind of aging with young Olivia as a little girl. And so I guess that kind of a crazy hippie lady in the, I think, first or second issue, I guess that was her, and the kid was Olivia. And then it jumps to present. She's at Stockholm, Sweden. I believe she has dementia. And pretty much Olivia and her partner, Allison, they're wanting the weapon. I like this bit here on the TV where they overhear that the president made a surprise visit to Cheyenne Mountain to visit some troops, and that it's considered one of the most highly secured facilities. They know it's happening. It's getting ready. You got the timer right here. It's almost time for ENIAC to blow up the world. So they know that the president is just going into a bunker to hide. And then they get the weapon. It's pretty much this box. You have to feed the core rope into the box in a certain pattern through these holes. And I guess I don't know, put it in ENIAC. They don't really know either. And then I like this part right here where she touches her ear, and that signals Allison to leave and to give her some privacy. So pretty much her mom's totally crazy. She's saying how she probably doesn't even want them to have it because she doesn't want to kill ENIAC anymore. Jumps back to this is a graphic comic. So back into the past, her mom is sitting in the desert naked, and that's when young Olivia finally called the authorities on her have her sent to the crazy house, and so she pieces it together that she was making a map to find ENIAC. So Mom gets mad at her, she's crazy, gives her the map, and quick page over here of them sending a carrier pigeon, because that can't be tracked, a carrier pigeon over to the Secretary of Defense to send them some backup. Got a page over here of them buying a really old plane with no technology, no radio on it. Let's see. Yeah, you get a little bit of them kind of exploring their past relationship. Apparently they used to be a couple and they're just not anymore. So I couldn't tell, based on their little exchange of dialogue for like one page in the first issue, if they were just really friendly or if they were romantic with each other. So that definitely cleared things up, that they're lesbians and they had a relationship but now they're not together, so her problems are her problems. And let's see. And we get a page of them getting word back from the pigeon, and they sent in the best backup they could. And it looks like these old gruff guys. I thought it would have been cooler if it was that team, that like strike team of cool looking badass dudes from the first issue. But I guess they're probably so old they're not in the fight anymore. And then I don't know why her Allison's reaction is like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" I couldn't tell because she tells them to strip so they can take off all their tech. And I don't know if she objects to them being their backup because they're old looking or something, or they've got dongs hanging out and they clearly don't like that. But anyway, so they throw all their radios and all their tech inside the bag, throw them in the fire. This guy's just complaining. He's just complaining the whole time. It even cuts over here in the plane. He's complaining some more that there's no GPS and it's like they're flying blind. Of course, Allison remarks that humanity's been navigating for thousands of years without GPS. And there's this little part that's kind of important of Allison asking Olivia, "Hey, so do you know what to do with this thing when we get in there? This box with the holes in it?" And they both don't. And then Olivia says that's good. It means ENIAC doesn't know either. So Olivia's pretty much convinced that ENIAC can, he has eyes everywhere, ears everywhere else, and there's it's a good thing they don't know. This needs to be a secret for this plan to work, and they're running out of time. So the map led them to Ethiopia. That is where they believe ENIAC is, and it's like, what is it like? It's 116 degrees. Walk all this way. They're just, it's super hot. That's so hot. But for some reason, Allison is wearing a poncho, or I guess that might be the poncho of the special core thread that they have to use to kill ENIAC. But why not just fold it up and carry it? Like, why are you wearing that? It's 116 degrees. Jeez. They get over here, and you get this really cool, old school looking robot, and the guy who was complaining the whole time. I knew he was gonna die because he just wouldn't stop whining. And he's like, what a piece of shit. I could take this apart with. Then it raises its arms. Apparently he thinks that doesn't look intimidating. He just walks right up to this big, tall, freaking freaky robot. But then it just slices him in half. And then that's when I realized its arms are probably made out of old helicopter propellers. So that was pretty cool. That's when they freak out and they blast it away, and they dispatch it rather easily, but it did kill one guy by very violently. They hop into this hole, or before they hop into this hole, Olivia has this weird moment where her eyes go dark, and it goes through her origin really quickly. You see all these blips from her past, way back again, showing that was her with the little speak and spell, and it's talking with like the ENIAC looking dialogue. So it's really good at showing how much of people's lives ENIAC has manipulated up to this point. How much has it planned? How much has it predetermined already? Is this plan going to work? I don't know. Father being a dick, military training, guy's a dick. And then she meets Allison. They're bunkmates. They fight together, and then they're even more bunkmates. But then she gets out of the military and goes through that phase of depression that's very common when they're no longer fighting in the war. And that's when Allison comes back to Olivia with the idea to go freelance which leads to them now. So they hop down into this hole. It's like this weird tunnel. It's like this weird network of tunnels. One of the guys realizes that one of the corridors leads into, what is this? He says his dad's flat in London. It looks just like it. He doesn't know if this is a dream. Some of the guys are saying that this has got to be some kind of a psy-ops program, and so all these corridors have something from their past. It's psychological. ENIAC is messing with them somehow, and then Olivia and Allison are faced with that. That made me go, whoa. It says, welcome Falcon Fletcher, that's their last names. Insert cord rope memory here. And it's like, oh my gosh, it knew the whole time. So she says, it's the same pattern of holes we took from your mom. How could it have known? And she goes, he knows we have the virus. He's been expecting it. Do we need to feed it to him? Or is that exactly what he wants us to do? And it shows the timer. They've got 29 minutes left. To be continued, one issue left. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was a good ending. So I don't know how it's going to end. Totally crazy. It's got a backup. It's got another, every issue's got this kind of little black and white backup story. It's kind of entertaining, written by Matt Kindt. And that was that. Great comic. Keeps me on the edge of my seat. I'm digging it. So please comment below. Tell me what you think. Is Allison and Olivia, are they gonna feed in the virus, or do you think that's exactly what ENIAC wants them to do? Is this all a test? I don't know. So the two things I thought was really weird was that number one, probably about this part where her mom is sitting in the desert naked, and I'm thinking, so Olivia's mom went crazy because of ENIAC, and she didn't know ENIAC was a thing until the Secretary of Defense gave them this mission. So that's too much. Like, what are the chances of that? So I would have to get a little more confirmation that ENIAC manipulated the events to happen, that this woman that ENIAC drove crazy, that her daughter, who became a government operative, would be the one sent on this mission to feed or to not to feed in the virus that could potentially kill the world. So I thought that was weird. It's like, how did you never know? You know, your mom's crazy. She would probably have had to say at some point when you were young, oh, ENIAC, you would have recognized the name or something like that. The other thing I thought that was weird, and it kind of really hit on home at the part where they saw on the news that the president went to a very secured bunker, is I'm thinking like the fate of the world is resting on these two. They gave these two this mission, and if they really think the world is about to end, if they think ENIAC is going to nuke everything, I would imagine that the government would be throwing everything at it, not just, you know, this is the story that Matt Kindt wanted to tell, but it is a little weird to me that they're the only ones. You know, this is the fate of the world. There's a lot of responsibility resting on them. I'm like, wow, why is it not going like frickin', you know, full Monty on the stopping the threat? So, but you know, we'll see if any loose ends get tied up. There's only one issue left, and I'm really excited to see how it ends. You know, this would be a great comic for my brother actually too. He's into kind of more tech reliant stories with a highly advanced computer and AI kind of manipulating events through history. I find that really interesting. So please like this video, subscribe so that you don't miss my review for issue 4 when that comes out. Comment below and tell me what you think. I really like starting conversations about comics, and you know, please go down to your local comic shop, buy some comics so that manga isn't the only thing making money over here. So thank you very much for checking out this video.